Mom.
Hi, Jason.
Okay, this is part 2. Yesterday you spoke to Jody. Any other stories since yesterday that you thought of after you made the video that you thought, oh, I should have shared that story?
Well, when I was a young child, about 2 years old, I think it was about 2, I believe we were at either a friend's house or a family member's house, and on the kitchen table were a plate of cookies, and I wanted a cookie. So I climbed on the chair, climbed on top of the table, reached over a pot of coffee to grab a cookie. But the coffee spilled all over me, ended up in the hospital, 2nd-degree burns, but I am okay. So that was my first visit in the hospital after I was born.
What's that?
That was in Florida?
That was in Florida.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you actually remember it, or is that something that...
I remember being in the hospital with the lights shining in my eyes. And my father saying, "It'll be okay. It'll be okay, little doll. It'll be okay."
I have a similar memory from when I was around the same age, obviously decades later. I do remember not so much the act of splitting my lip, but I remember kind of like the bright lights when they're stitching me up because you took me to the hospital.
Oh, yes.
So you remember the story better than I do.
So we were in your sister's room, and I was making her bed, and the comforter was on the floor, and you tripped over the comforter running into the room, and you hit your lip on the bottom of her bed. And it did split in half. You cried. We went to the hospital. You were taken in right away. You ended up getting 3 layers of stitches, the outside of the mouth, the inside, and the middle. And they did a good job.
Okay.
And I felt guilty ever since.
There's no need to feel guilty. I have a mustache. You can't see the scar one bit.
Well, yeah, but I left the comforter on the floor and you tripped over it. I should have been more careful as a mom.
No. This one's totally on Jen.
Okay, then.
Any other stories that you were thinking about since yesterday? Okay, let's talk about Florida, because we didn't talk about Florida too much.
Okay.
Tell me about moving to Florida. Why did we move to Florida? And why did we move to where we moved in Florida?
Well, I got tired of the cold in New York, the snow, getting dark at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and friends of ours, Ellen and Ed Anchel, moved to Florida, and we just felt it's time. So your father got a job down there, and we moved. We first moved to Palm Coast, and we were there for about a year. We were having a house built in Ormond Beach, where you were going into 1st grade. Your sister was going into 5th grade, and that's...
Pine Trail Elementary School.
Yes, and I remember your principal, Robin Smith, knew the names of every child that went to that school.
Yeah. I remember her.
Yeah.
I remember her more than some of my teachers from elementary school. In a good way.
Yep. Yeah.
I remember that, especially when we lived in Palm Coast, because that school didn't serve Palm Coast, we were just there waiting for the house to be built.
Yes.
That there was no bus that came. So we got up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
It was early.
5 o'clock in the morning to drive from Palm Coast. We didn't need to leave at 5 o'clock, but that gave us enough time to go to JJ's barn.
JJ's barn. Every day for breakfast.
For a nice sit-down breakfast before you could drop us off, because school started at 8. I think the earliest we were allowed to get there was 7. Mm-hmm. So we had a lot of time to kill.
I never liked to be late for anything, so we always got there very early.
Yeah.
I remember when you went to Pine Trail, I think it was in the fall, and you and your sister were dressed like summer in shorts. And when we got to the school, some of the children had their winter coats on, long pants, because it was cold. But their blood was thin. We were great with warm weather.
Okay. Tell me about Disney.
Well, I love Disney, so we had to get year-round passes. And this was a time, well, we went as a family for a while. Then your father ended up changing jobs, worked in Switzerland. So he was there for a couple of months and then home for about a month. So I thought, well, let's go to Disney. We got our year-round passes, and after Sunday school, we would drive to Disney, and we would stay for a few hours and then come back. I think we did that almost every week.
I remember that.
Yeah. We also went into Orlando once a week once we moved down because your sister was taking ice skating lessons. I didn't have the heart to tell her, no, you can't. And then you took ice skating lessons. So it was a long day. School got out around 2:30 and we drove to Orlando. They had their ice skating lessons. We had dinner at TGIF Fridays. Then we got home, it was like 9, 10 o'clock at night. And we did that until you both said, this is not fun anymore.
Was that the first time for me or the second time? I mean, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, waking up as early as we did. I think I was a bit of a zombie the next day.
Yeah, me too. So that stopped after a while.
And then eventually Jen started acting, modeling, singing.
Yes, Lisa mailing.
Yeah.
So we did that for a while until
Sound
that
like
wasn't fun anymore.
You sound like a very supportive mother.
Yes, yes. And I remember we had a conflict. You had, I don't remember if it was T-ball, I think it was T-ball, Little League. She had something at Lisa Maley, and it was just me. Richard was in Europe at the time, and one of your sports buddies' mom says, well, Jason can sleep over, and I said, okay, which was a mistake.
Christopher Huckabee,
I'm not sure.
I think.
And when I picked you up the next day, you had welts on your back, and I took you to the doctor. You had a fever. You were out of school for a couple of days. And then I blame myself because I never went to the house to see what it was like.
There were a lot of mosquitoes, I think.
Yeah.
Whatever other bugs.
So that was another time that I blame myself.
Mom guilt.
Mom guilt. Yeah.
When it's my turn, I'll talk about Camp Universe, but this is about you. Wildwood, Florida.
Yes.
It was 5. How long did I go for? 8 weeks. That's right. 6 weeks the next year. We cut back. But, well, another video.
Yep. I was not the perfect mom.
You were great.
So I've been told.
You were great. Don't listen to Jennifer.
Listening to you, she never had any problems with her mom that I'm aware of.
You never asked her about Camp Universe?
I think this is turning into a therapy session.
We were having a house built, so I was busy with all of that, and I thought you'd like to have some fun, and Mark Anchel was going to the camp, and I thought he would be like a big brother to you, and you didn't like it.
Had I met him before we
Yes.
went to Camp Universe? I can't remember the first time I met him, if it was before when I was there.
No, you had met him.
Because we lived up in New York, and he lived in Miami. So I'm just trying to imagine when I had met him.
I don't remember off the top of my You know,
Okay,
someday
I'm sure-
this is going to come back to haunt you with your own children.
Okay, let's go back to you. What kind of things did you like to do for fun around then?
Around when?
That time period, the early 90s.
Let's see, early 90s. I was on a bowling.
Late 80s, early 90s.
I was on a bowling league.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you remember your scores?
Your best score? Your average score?
They're really
average was around 130, 140. Sometimes I think I got a 200 maybe once.
I remember the patch on the wall. It was for over 200 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. But those days are now over. Age-related reasons.
Okay.
But, yeah, I like that. Bowling.
Okay.
Okay.
What did you like best about living in Ormond Beach, Florida?
The weather. Had some good friends. I enjoyed being with you and your sister and all your activities.
Mm. Okay.
Okay. We had a puppy dog. Not
Yes,
a-
like
not-
that. Tell us about your.
Sunshine.
Sunshine.
Okay. How'd we get Sunshine? What was he like?
We got Sunshine because when we lived in New York, Jennifer's best friend, Jennifer Jo, who lived next door, had a little puppy dog. Her friend across the street, Jennifer Smith, had a puppy dog. And for her 8th birthday, she wanted a puppy dog. So, of course, her father took all of us to the pet shop on her 8th birthday so they could pick out a dog. And we got Sunshine, who was a cute little puppy dog until we left him at the vet when we had a trip down to Florida. When we got back a puppy dog with a personality change. Every time he saw a newspaper, he would grab it, shred it with his teeth, and he never trusted people since. Even us, he was not a nice dog. We tried, but he would snap and he would growl. And he lived until he was 18. Sunshine.
Yeah. Okay, let's fast forward. Asher is 7. Ezra's 5.
Yes.
Imagine they're graduating high school. What advice do you have for them?
Follow
Or what do you
your-
want to say to them?
Follow your dreams. Get
Well,
a
it's
good
simple.
get a good education. Be kind, courteous, respect your parents, your family. Love each other, and Asher and Ezra to be best friends
Okay.
for life.
And in February, Jennifer's turning 45. What advice do you have for her?
Follow your You do this all the time. You make me laugh that I can't even talk.
Like good interviews like that. That's right.
Jennifer, pay attention.
Follow your dreams, Jennifer. That's my advice. And be good friends with your brother, and vice versa. Love each other
Very good.
and family.
Any?
And I love you both.
Thank you. We love you too. Anything else you want to share?
Well, I do miss your dad. So, February 10th, 2019, he passed away, pancreatic cancer.
Yeah. In November would be 50 years.
50 years we would have been married. Yep. November 10th. So, but he's looking down. He's watching over all of us. He was there for my 2 surgeries. And he is watching out for us. And I do miss.
Me too.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.